Listen to that sound. That is not a film score. That is the actual sound of wind recorded on the surface of Mars by NASA's InSight lander, a real microphone on a real alien world, transmitting the sound of another planet's weather back to Earth for the first time in human history. For decades, we have looked at Mars and seen a future, a destination, a second home. We named rovers after the word opportunity. We built rockets to take our children there. Billionaires have staked their entire legacy on planting a human flag in that red dust. We called it the most hopeful planet. But hope is the most dangerous trap of all. Mars is not peaceful. It is a radiation-soaked, frozen, toxic wasteland wearing the mask of a welcoming world. It is a planet that was once alive and chose to die. And we are still trying to move in. Welcome to humanity's greatest dream and its most patient killer. Let's start with what you cannot see. From orbit, Mars looks almost familiar. Deserts, canyons, polar ice caps. It looks like the American Southwest from space, reddish and dry and wide open. But the moment you step onto that surface without protection, something invisible begins killing you. Mars has no global magnetic field. Earth's magnetic field is an invisible force shield stretching tens of thousands of kilometers into space, deflecting solar radiation and cosmic rays away from the surface. Mars lost its magnetic field billions of years ago when its core cooled and died. There is nothing left to protect the surface. Solar radiation hits the Martian ground raw and unfiltered. A human standing on Mars without a suit would absorb a lethal radiation dose not over years, but not over months, but over days. Astronauts on the 6-month journey to Mars would absorb more radiation than NASA allows for an entire career, and that is before they land. Mars does not announce it is killing you. The radiation is invisible, silent, and it has been sterilizing that surface for 3 billion years. But the danger on Mars goes beyond what you cannot see. Look at the sky. On a clear Martian day, the sky is a pale butterscotch color, almost beautiful in its strangeness. Then the dust begins to move. Mars hosts the largest dust storms in the entire solar system. Not regional storms, not seasonal storms. Planet-wide storms that swallow the entire globe and can last for months. In 2018, a global dust storm engulfed Mars so completely that it blocked sunlight across the whole planet for nearly a year. NASA's Opportunity rover was solar-powered. The storm starved it of energy. Engineers sent signal after signal trying to wake it up. Opportunity never responded again. A rover that was designed to last 90 days had survived for 15 years, and a dust storm silenced it in weeks. But the dust itself is the hidden horror. Martian dust is not like Earth's dust. It is fine as talcum powder and chemically toxic. It is laced with perchlorates, reactive chemicals that are poisonous to human biology, that destroy thyroid function, and that cling to every surface they touch. The dust gets into everything. It coats solar panels. It fills lungs. It has been sitting there, toxic and waiting, for billions of years. And when Mars shows its coldest face, the numbers become hard to comprehend. The average temperature on Mars is minus 60 degrees Celsius. But that average hides something more violent. On a summer afternoon near the equator, temperatures can briefly rise to a relatively tolerable 20 degrees Celsius, warm enough to feel almost pleasant through a suit. Then the sun sets. Within hours, the temperature plummets to minus 125 degrees Celsius. A single Martian day swings nearly 150 degrees in temperature from afternoon to midnight. No material humans currently use for shelter handles that kind of thermal stress indefinitely. Seals crack. Metal fatigues. Equipment that works perfectly in the afternoon fails before dawn. And the atmosphere provides no buffer because the Martian atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide and less than 1% as thick as Earth's. It is barely there. It offers no warmth, no protection, and it cannot be breathed. If your suit fails on Mars, you do not suffocate slowly. The pressure drop causes the water in your blood to begin boiling within seconds. Mars does not give you time to say goodbye. Mars is a world with a feature that breaks the mind when you truly sit with it. The distance. Right now, depending on where both planets are in their orbits, Mars is somewhere between 54 million and 401 million kilometers away. A radio signal, traveling at the speed of light, takes between 3 and 24 minutes to reach Mars from Earth. That means if something goes wrong on Mars and you send a distress call, the earliest anyone on Earth can even receive it is 3 minutes. The earliest they can respond and have that response reach you is 6 minutes on a good day and up to 48 minutes on a bad one. There is no rescue. There is no emergency call you can make that gets answered in time. Every decision on Mars, every crisis, every system failure must be solved by the people standing on that frozen ground with whatever they brought with them. You are not 400 million kilometers from home. You are 400 million kilometers from any possibility of help. That silence, that absolute isolation, is something no human being has ever experienced. Psychologists call it a level of alone that has no equivalent anywhere in human history. Mars is a planet with a past that should terrify us more than its present, because Mars was not always like this. 4 billion years ago, Mars had a thick atmosphere. It had a magnetic field. It had rivers. It had lakes. It had an ocean in its northern hemisphere that may have been as deep as a mile and covered a third of the planet's surface. The evidence is still written in the rocks, even in the ancient shorelines, in the dried river deltas that NASA's rovers have photographed up close. Mars was warm. Mars was wet. Mars may have had life. Simple, microbial, ancient life in those rivers and lakes and ocean shallows. Then the core cooled. The magnetic field collapsed. The solar wind began stripping the atmosphere away, molecule by molecule, over hundreds of millions of years. The oceans evaporated and froze. The rivers dried. The surface turned to poison. Whatever was alive on Mars, if anything was alive, had nowhere left to go. Mars is not a blank slate waiting for us to arrive. Mars is a graveyard, and we keep planning to build our homes inside it. But to truly understand what Mars costs, look at what we have already sacrificed just to learn about it. More than half of all missions ever sent to Mars have failed. Its spacecraft have burned up on entry, crashed on landing, and gone silent in orbit for reasons that were never fully understood. The Mars Climate Orbiter was lost in 1999 because one engineering team used metric units and another used imperial units. A $327 million spacecraft destroyed by a unit conversion error. The Soviet Mars 2 lander crashed. Mars 3 landed successfully and transmitted data for 14.5 seconds before going permanently silent. 14 seconds. Engineers had spent years building it, and Mars took it in 14 seconds. Every piece of information we have about that surface came at a cost measured in decades of human work, billions of dollars, and machines that died in the attempt. And we have not sent a single human yet. So look up at it tonight. Find that pale reddish star in the sky, steady and cold, how not flickering like the others. It has been there every night for all of human history, watching us evolve from cave dwellers to rocket builders. Every generation has looked at that light and felt something pull at them. The same thing that is pulling us there right now. The dream of it is real. The courage it would take is real. But now you know what is actually waiting there. Radiation that begins killing you on arrival. Dust storms that swallow planets. Temperatures that swing 150 degrees in a single night. A toxic surface wearing the face of a desert. A graveyard of oceans and rivers, and perhaps the first life that ever existed beyond our world. Mars is the most compelling destination our species has ever imagined. But remember, the most irresistible places are sometimes the most dangerous ones. Mars has been waiting 4 billion years. It is very good at being patient.